Alright guys, thank you kindly for that wait. We're getting into GuMiho versus Reality in a TvT coming up next here for the round of 8 in the Olimoleague. Of course, if you haven't seen the brackets yourselves, be sure to check them out. You can see the brackets just by typing !brackets in Twitch chat, and it will link you to the challenge page. It looks like Reality may need a moment or two, but GuMiho's here in the lobby. Hi, GuMiho.
Hello.
TvT in the round of 8. What a surprise.
Well, TvT all day. Got
Yeah,
TvT on the top side.
If we want TvT, we go to Korea. If we want ZVZ, we go to Europe. There's no TVZs anywhere to be found.
Let's see. Maybe. Well, the good news is that there's Protoss and Zerg in the middle. Guaranteed a non-TvT semifinals.
I don't know, dude. I think. Oh, okay, yeah, that's true. But we're still gonna end up with like Beyond versus Reality in the finals or something. Which, by the way, I want to point out, like, as unstoppable as Beyond may be, Reality is one of the few people who can totally stop him. So it'd be very interesting if that ended up being what the finals were. Natural still continuing to impress us, sitting in that round of 8. Granted, you only had to play one game to get there, but Natural is just kind of really under the radar Terran who's been impressing the heck out of us through our cast of him more recently. So very interesting to see how he does. I don't know if he's got what it takes to beat Beyond. Very few do.
What are you doing?
Is your cat clawing at the carpet?
At my bed.
I was gonna say, like, only other cat owners know exactly what that sound is right now.
Just kind of running along the edge. Dragging himself. Why? Why?
Because it got your attention, didn't it?
Excuse me.
He's peacocking.
Pardon me.
I just love that cheeky little face he has. Stupid Apollo, you're so cute.
No, I won't move. Where's my spot? What are you waiting on?
The Greencasters, I suppose. Because they were trying to follow Stork, but then Stork lost, so I guess they had to change their plans. So, by the way, interesting things I'm learning about Twitter. So Twitter has this annoying feature some of you have probably learned to hate, but I'm starting to realize how to use it correctly, where they have this, like, here's what you missed while you were gone feature, and it shows, like, the more popular tweets that were in your timeline from hours ago near the top, instead of just letting them filter through the timeline.
Yeah.
So in the past, you know, we would just say, oh, retweet and like tweets because it makes us feel good, and it does. Like, it feels good to see retweets and likes and stuff. But now there's actual reason to, because if you do, well, you might not have any followers, and while it might not matter in the world to anybody that you like the tweets, it will make it show up in other people's timelines that follow us. So you can actually help us out on social media quite a bit by just hitting that like button on Twitter, or hell, hitting the retweet button, sharing what's going on. So I just put a link in chat from Twitter if you guys wouldn't mind, so people see that, they come tune in for the rest of the Olimoleague, whether it's the semifinals or the finals. Because keep in mind, we're casting this round of 8 match, then likely 2 semifinals and the finals afterwards, unless something changes. But looks like the Koreans left? Wait, no, one's still here. He's got hosts. What's going on here?
Oh, okay. Bye-bye.
Yeah, hello, goodbye.
Oh.
I guess we have to wait a few minutes, apparently. Okay. It's probably because they got to get Stork up on the desk and all that, but, like, yo, Stork's the Protoss, bro. You don't need him that bad for TvT, I'm just saying.
Wow.
I'm sorry, but
lots of TvT things.
I'm just going to say, Stork, probably, like most other players, I'm not trying to generalize, like, by region here, but like most other players, probably doesn't do so great outside of his own matchup.
He was a team coach.
Actually,
so
that's very true. I take
studied.
that back. He would be one of the few people that would. Like, a team coach would have to know more.
He's a player coach or whatever. Yeah.
It was just the last thing I expected. Like, to cast with people like Kane or Scarlet, like, to sit there and be bewildered at the fact that, like, you're like, oh, you don't know much about Terran at all, do you? There's other players out there too. Like, I'm not gonna name drop everybody because it's gonna sound like I'm making fun of them, but we've cast with people who thought Colossus did bonus damage to light, things like that. Where you're like, well, you play this game like a lot more than I do. How do you think that's a thing? Like,
I don't even care about that so much. It's like when they're like, So was that a lot of damage done after someone loses like 20 SCVs and you're like, well, I mean...
Actually, on that point, take that one step further. Speaking specifically as somebody who's kind of either watched games next to pros in real life or actually talked to them on Skype while things are happening, it's not just one or two people, but I want to say like shy of like it's easier to say everybody but Snoot type thing rather than like naming a huge list of people. A lot of players will say like, oh, now he's winning, oh, now he's winning, now he's winning, no, now he's winning again. Like they go wishy-washy back and forth so much, you're kind of like, well, what makes me think that you know what you're talking about anymore?
They really don't. I guess it's that it comes back to like they don't consider things can go wrong. So if something happens, well, they're like, okay, I guess the person's gonna win.
Yeah,
it's like, well,
over.
Unless this happens, and then like it's a greater chance that something weird's gonna happen than that game's gonna be played perfectly.
Yeah.
So it is really consistent though, and it's like one of the things
weird,
that
right?
anyone
like...
really has to learn. I mean, I imagine we learned it at some point, you know, casting, but we learned it much earlier on and like much farther back in our careers. That you're like, okay, I have to give everyone the benefit of the doubt.
Here's what happens. Here's what we got thrown like into the fire type thing. The pros are like, oh, well, they must know what they're talking about because they're pro players. So we'll just, oh, you guys are probably right. We were wrong. And it's like,
right?
For us, no, it's everyone like, you guys are so fucking stupid. You're so bad at casting. You have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. So it's like, oh, okay, well, we'll remember that for next time. Sorry. It's living within the bubbles with it. Like that 30 Rock episode with John Hamm. Like, he's so handsome, he's so good looking because everyone just tells him like he's doing everything right his whole life, and when he's not, that's pro players for you guys. And I know that's mean to generalize because there are some people actually out there like, for example, you watch Cat's Cast. He's vicious, but he's usually right most of the time, right? He'll be like, oh, the game's over 3 minutes in, and the game will be over, but it'll drag on for like 15 more minutes. Like, so I guess we are generalizing quite a bit, and it's again, I will still say the majority of players that we've met and watched games with than the minority. But anyways, small talk aside, looks like we're almost ready to go. I think the caster should be good soon. They said 2 to 3 minutes. It's been like 2 to 3 minutes, so I'll better get this party started soon.
Don't make that sound. Say hi.
Hi. Hello, Apollo.
Did you hear that?
Oh, he's got such pretty eyes. Can we get some zombie grab cats in chat, guys? No kitten lady hate. Oh yeah, you're wearing the kitten lady shirt. Didn't realize.
Yeah.
You think about it though, a kitten lady is probably better than a cat lady, right? Because the cat lady's just this crazy person who's taking in all the cats over her life. The kitten lady's brand new to the game, and she's got all these adorable little cats and probably bright eyes, thinking like, "I'll take care of these cats. I'll find them new homes."
Well, yeah, I guess she's just fostering, which is what the kitten lady does, actual person, right? But if it's like a kitten lady, like they hoard kittens, that's gonna be even worse than a cat lady. Because they have to like actually like take care of the kittens like a baby, right?
They don't have time to split between all the little baby kittens.
Yeah. Apollo, what are you doing? Climbed Mount Everest? Is that what you did? Good job.
I want to know what's going on here. Freestyle Rafiki or Freestyle Fakiri. I keep reading Rafiki every time I read your name, bro. I'm so sorry. Freestyle Fakiri says, BaseTradeTV, please make a video about your wall art. I don't have that much cool wall art, dude. Like if the camera was zoomed in more, 3 more minutes. What the fuck? Why?
They're full of lies.
Okay, well, anyways, I don't have a lot of art to show off. That's actually the Olimoleague poster from last year that Olimoleague sent most of the Patreons. It's got all the winners from each of the monthly finals on it. Oh, pointing with this arm is hurtful. You can't see it right now so much, but above it are the cards from Hell It's About Time placed in containers and mounted on the wall, which is kind of cool. This is like a Kill la Kill Gurren Lagann mashup. That's just straight up something from... we went to this comic convention last year for IEM. It was a really sweet Kill la Kill poster I enjoyed. A fan, I'm trying to... Sharkbait Uaha. He's not really around that much anymore. He burned the old BaseTradeTV logo into wood. So I thought it was pretty cool. It hangs on my wall. And then over there is just my anime figurine case.
Cool. I could go over what's in my bookcase, but it would take forever.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind having a 10-minute break if this would have been we need 10 minutes, not hey we need 2 minutes, hey we need 2 more minutes, hey we need 2 to 3 more minutes.
They only said that twice. Don't lie.
But looks like they're having good times in the studio, so I went to check Twitter to see if there's updates on what's going on, and I guess Stork joined the cast and said, Olimoleague says Stork said he was too busy thinking about how to beat Bjorn, and that's why he lost. At least that's probably the excuse he gave. But it's a nice happy picture of all the Koreans smiling together.
Okay, ready. Ready. Right, cat. He's in a biting mood.
Yeah. This cough one to go away, that'd be great.
Ah, no. My booty.
BaseTradeTV, are you guys a couple? We're a couple of casters, alright, but we're not dating, if that's what you mean.
Hot. Great! Oh, yay!
Alright, Frozen Temple. Time to finally get this party started. It's a TvT. It's best of 3. It's the round of 8 for the Olimoleague, starting now.
Cue the map intro.
Well, if I had them. Yo, we still don't have a Korean cast to this broadcast, guys. I'm just saying. Little as $2. This could be you.
I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, we do. So it took forever.
Yeah, well, I guess on the other stream. We don't have one here, though. But for those who don't know what that is, you'll find out, maybe, in due time. Spawning on the bottom right side of this round of 8 match for the Olimoleague, we have the blue Terran, none other than the one and only, GuMiho.
His very own self.
His very own self.
In the top left, as the red Terran, he is reality.
Alright, this will be a good one. I think the problem is, though, before we even get this party started, one of these 3 potential games will likely be about a 6-minute game. Just too often we're watching great level Korean play get completely squashed out by like the 2 Reaper Hellion push, and you're like, oh, well that happened.
I mean, GuMiho's a pretty... GuMiho can do some weird stuff. Reality has been cheesy, of course, as well.
Yeah, they're both fully capable
although,
of cheese. That's, I think, what the scary thing is, but...
Yes, they both are also fully capable of going mech, which makes this interesting.
Yeah, because mech is starting to make a comeback in the matchup. We saw it a while back with Beastie and Major, and now some of the Koreans have been throwing it out once in a while, too. I mean, well, this could very well just be classic Marine tank, 20-minute game, TvT. I do want to point out that, well, GuMiho certainly has the track record. Reality is so good at this matchup. I really do. I couldn't tell you. I'd have to flip a coin for this one. I really don't have a good estimate on who wins this.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Reality has not just been going for mech every once in a while, though, like GuMiho has. Reality, last 6 TvTs we've seen, I think, has gone mech. So, I would even say I'd expect it here, but maybe not. Yeah, it's on 100%, but it's been close to it lately. And they're both going to start off with 1 base builds. Both went for the same gas. I mean, it's actually identical builds. Just a little bit later on the orbital for GuMiho. Second Reaper, even third Reaper is coming out for each of them. Unless that is the first one. Sorry, my bad. So second Reaper's coming out for both of them.
Oh.
And then a factory finishing up.
Yeah, and real quick, by the way, CK Walsh is asking a question. That's totally valid. Well, Stork was playing the studio. That's just because he was at the studio. The only time the players are all at the studio for the Olimoleague studio broadcast is during the monthly finals. So these guys are all chilling at home. This is just this is your weekly Olimoleague. Interesting.
Reality goes for a command center after his factory, whereas of course GuMiho just goes straight up to the starport, which is more to what I was expecting. Huh. Well, Reality will now be on the defensive, trying to take any damage while he gets a better economy. GuMiho's job here is to do something with the units he has. So, for the ground army, yeah, everything's very similar, although GuMiho's just take a much better trade. Wow, a lot of damage to the Hellion. In fact, it goes down. Reaper also in scary position here. That Hellion should save it, but GuMiho is still getting Hellions himself, Like, that trade is actually really good for GuMiho.
Yeah, it's one of those things, though, like... I described it before the game started. It's almost like I've seen this matchup before. But because Reality actually took a decent enough fight to not let this spiral out of control, like, the SCV is going to get killed. He might be better off just canceling and starting up on the high ground. I know it's so close to finish, but policing this is going to be difficult even with his own Hellions out, just because there's still 2 Reapers alive for GuMiho. Those grenades are actually crazy. Looks like the SCV does sneak down while this goes on.
Oh,
but this was something where GuMiho almost won this fight. 2 more Hellions going to come in. Or, well, 1 more going to make this 2. Saves the SCV throwing the command center. That was clutch. That was cute. But now he's going to stop these from killing SCVs in the main.
He is about to be able to stop.
I like this.
2 Hellions, but that's a little bit scary. Oh, he even surrounds them. That would have been devastating if one of the Reapers had survived, which it almost did. The, like, 2-3 grenades comboed with a couple of Hellions, like, that would have been a lot of damage done. And a lot of weak workers, so the Banshee would be able to one-shot most of them. There's also a small hypothetical where if Reality was paying too much attention to the Hellions and didn't actually pay enough attention to the command center, it didn't pull that SCV down here to finish it, this command center very well may not have been finished even by now. Yeah. Ooh, is GuMiho going for mech at least first? Second factory, Blue Flame. We still don't know what Reality's plan is. He is taking quite a bit of damage. More SCVs go down. You know, the army supply is unfortunately in pretty defensive units, the Vikings mainly, so I don't even think he can do much in a counter. Yeah, the Hellions going to run across the map. The Cyclone and the Banshee should be able to deal with it. Yeah. I was going to mention, though, this was kind of the nice benefit to those Hellions getting into that mineral line. He didn't deal a lot of damage and kill all the SCVs, but he got them low enough that that Banshee ran through and one-shot 7 SCVs. Yeah, that's a very important part of the strategy if you can actually get into the main base, which sometimes doesn't happen. It kind of falls flat. The Banshee doesn't do much after that either. But GuMiho's opener definitely worked. It's got him a lead despite having a later command center. And it gets him in a nice, comfy position where he's just ahead also in tech and production. Like, Reality's only just now getting his own counter Banshees here. He doesn't have a second factory or barracks, whatever he's going to go for. And, of course, won't have Blue Flame. He might not be so worried about not having Blue Flame. Like, if he goes mech, he might focus more on tanks. But it is something where it's still up in the air. He doesn't have great units. And Blue Flame Hellions against regular Hellions. I'm going to have to explain that dynamic. It's going to win. It's going to be such a glass cannon fight one way or the other, but the 2 Banshees going to make sure that this isn't even a fight in the first place. The high ground advantage was the only thing kind of going for him, but he sees the Blue Flame now. I mean, so many Hellions have been removed from the equation before this fight even began. The Raven's going to throw down an auto turret, but that goes down pretty quickly just thanks to the Banshee fire. The focus fire is pretty good. And while the Banshees may not even go down, they start flying away. There's no detection here. The Blue Flame gets on top of the SCVs. 7 of them go down right away. Goes up to 11. The Cyclone finally gets taken out of the equation with 14 workers dead in a game where this isn't even necessarily something where Reality may have wanted to go mech, but kind of got forced into. I don't know. I think he wanted to, just based off his past. Oh, but this is a game that it's been bad for Reality. I hope he likes pepperoni pizza, because he's going to be wrestling in it. 1 Banshee on the other side of the map actually getting some decent counterattack damage, but down to 14 workers is still pretty nasty. He actually has 2 Vikings. Yeah, 3rd command center. There's 2 Vikings coming out in just a second, too, so this Banshee won't be a problem for too much longer. Let's get that scan off right away. And yeah, this was just not a good game here for Reality, unfortunately. Cyclone finally finishes off that Raven. GG. GuMiho takes this first game. Yeah, that was a fun little game there for sure. The fact that they're both going to go mech could have been even more interesting had it not spiraled out of control. Yeah, the Blue Flame. I'm not sure, like, would that have been the same without the Blue Flame, I wonder? Because there was still a lot of Hellions that got through that initial push and really just, man, SCVs start popping off like crazy. I don't know. Well, either way, we're going to have loser's pick, so Reality will have his choice to figure out what he'd like next. People were asking about the patch earlier, too, so I guess, I know WoW's down for it, too, because of a big maintenance thing. I guess StarCraft's also getting patched 3.6 today, so it's probably down. Korea, though, I did have to download a patch to play this. But the funny thing is, I think it was actually downloading an older version of the game, not a newer version. So I think Korea is just going to get patched later. No, it was a newer version. Alarak is available on Korea. Fancy. New commander available to play. Purchase now to play. No, thank you. I'll do that later. Cool. Maybe I'll get him.
That also means the yeah, custom mutations is now an option too. That's cool.
1, 2, 3. Wait, why are so? Where are the Terran heroes? Should Alaric have really been a Terran hero?
1, 2, 3. You know what? There is a Terran hero coming. We know who it is. We can't talk about it. Like.
Well, I mean, of course, there's a Terran hero coming, and it could be a lot of different.
I see what you're saying though, because of
heroes.
the order of like 3 to 3 to 3 instead of like 3 to 4 to 2.
Yeah.
I know. I think Alarak they wanted to push out more so because it was timing out with his Heroes release. So while in a world where there wasn't another game, we may have seen another Terran hero come out really quick. Oh, actually, today's the day I have to go re-download Heroes of the Storm because they got the StarCraft maps coming out for that, and I want to play those. Actually, I want to play this a lot. Actually,
Can you specify what map you play on?
there's 2 different ones that came out.
No. Can like when you go into the game,
Oh,
are you
I
gonna
see
have to
what
play
you're
10
saying.
games to finally play a game on that map?
You know, I don't actually know. I guess I'll find out. But
I feel like they have vetoes, but it's not quite the same thing.
well, either way, I'm excited for it because I really love the preview of the 2 maps and the idea of behind them with the Zerg. I think is really cool. But
Yeah.
anyways, that thought on hold for the time being. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Game number 2 here in the round of 8 for the Olimoleague. A best of 3 between 2 great Terrans. It is currently leading 1-0 in the bottom right side. It's going to be the blue Terran GuMiho.
The top left, as the red Terran, he is reality.
You know, every time things go really badly very quickly in a game, I want to like tell people in chat to start using like the panic basket emote, right? But then I'm like, don't know, because if we get in a habit of that, I'm gonna think the stream's going down every time something cool happens.
Yeah. Before we tell me you scaredy cat. That
Scaredy
face
cat's
just
for
gets
the-
me every time.
It's an awesome emote, but it's for Twitch Turbo users only. Feels bad, man.
Alright. It's not just that it's a scaredy cat, okay, that it's a cat and that it's supposed to be used when you're scared, but the face is more just like almost like a shock and awe thing. Like you're just like you can't understand something's happening and you're just like, I don't get it. I don't get it. That's the face I make.
I totes forgot. I still have two keys to give away that I guess we can raffle off during this. So start up what do you think we should give? Okay, I've got 2 of them here. I got the speaking Heroes of the Storm, Stormlord Falstad or a Twitch Turbo Good. Which should we do the raffle for first?
Twitch Turbo.
Okay, a month of Twitch Turbo. This is really cool for a lot of different reasons. Really quick to explain to those in chat, if you use Twitch Turbo, every time we run an ad on the channel, even though Turbo will prevent you from getting the ad, regardless of whether you have ad block or not, Twitch Turbo will count you as having seen the ad and thus give us a couple extra cents here and there, which will be nice. On top of the fact that you get access to a lot of extra cool emotes, you get some extra benefits to colors and other awesome things. Twitch Turbo is obviously just all around cool. So the winner of this will earn a Twitch Turbo code, which I hope you can use and enjoy. It's a free month of Twitch Turbo. So there'll be a raffle open in chat. Type !raffle space help if you need to learn more on how to enter the raffle. Anyone can enter though, not limited to subs or anything like that.
Correct. Well, last game got funky kind of quick. Reality was unfortunately down in supply for most of that game, and then things got really weird when they both went for factories. But I think the same thing might happen here. Not the Blue Flame necessarily, but that mech versus mech. I think it'd be a lot of fun to watch. We very rarely get those games in Legacy of the Void, and they both really are quite masterful with mech. I mean, these guys aren't just like, I don't know, Joe Schmo on the ladder trying to abuse a build because no one else does it. It's like these guys, A, are pro gamers in general, but B, were around in Heart of the Swarm and Wings of Liberty for GuMiho when mech was good in all different types of scenarios and situations and matchups.
Ooh, this will be annoying if the starport delayed potentially, but looks like the Hellions pop out just in the nick of time to save this.
Just in time. Okay, GuMiho's looking at a very nice scout. He has that Liberator following this up. Now, once again, GuMiho went for the non-expand yet. I mean, he's hitting his OCV down now, but...
I'm actually surprised he goes for the Viking. Or sorry, excuse me, for the Liberator, though. A lot of this was when he went up there, he didn't see a tech lab. He knew there wouldn't be a Banshee, so it really only would be a Viking coming out of this starport. Or his own Liberator. Either way, anti-air to stop him.
Yeah. something we said about just being able to siege up and kill 5 workers, but also I think if he hadn't lost that little attack on the high ground, oh, that was a nice shot from the Hellions. Being able to distract and forcing the Viking to choose the landing or taking care of the Liberator would have been really ideal.
Yeah.
So you're right. Like in this situation, we're gonna have to back off, and would not be able to push in reality. Liberator looks kind of lame.
Well, funny enough, they're both going for Cloaked Banshees as a follow-up. What was that you used to say all the time? No one expects the later Cloaked Banshee.
Yeah.
But with a Viking on one side and a Cyclone on the other, it doesn't matter whether you expect it or not. They're both going to be prepared.
Yes, yeah. So the question is really like, oh, okay, well, we don't have a question anymore for GuMiho. It is going to be mech for him. Reality only add on that factory later on, but nope, there it is. Mech versus mech.
This is interesting because I think mech versus mech is a lot more volatile and harder to control than marine tank versus marine tank. But at the end of the day, we are seeing this resurgence of the fact that marine tank just, when not paid attention to, not played to absolute perfection, falls prey to mech. Angle of attack in the Hellions is a lot more important than the number of Hellions in a lot of instances, so depending on who gets a better splash shot off, as GuMiho does push forward with lesser units, I think he knows that that's the case. With the Cyclone over here, however, there is nothing at home to stop this Banshee, and I fear Reality's about to get quite a few pickoffs on freshly caught mules. Oh,
Feels
no.
bad. What does GuMiho have coming out here? Nothing. He has a Banshee, the Cyclone's only halfway done. His own Banshee's not going to be able to do the same amount of damage. The Liberator is finally going to get its time to shine.
Yeah, getting some of the mains going to be nice. More one-shot a lot of these SCVs, so Reality's got to pull away.
Reality, please. Reality's actually losing more SCVs than GuMiho is.
I forgot, we get the hype base trade graphs mod on, so we can actually watch the incomes plummet as each player dances around these Banshees. No scam, he's almost out of energy. 3 to go.
I can't believe that Reality's losing more SCVs. I guess because the Liberator one-shots and...
Yeah, it's just like the time of attack. I mean,
it's also that Reality clearly set his SCVs back way too early.
That too. But, alright, 31 to 26. GuMiho's still a little bit trailing on this one.
Oh, no, don't let your Cyclone die. Oh, God, no. Oh, that was nice. Reality to have that one.
That was pretty close. That was pretty close. Alright, let's check stabilization. Yeah, Reality's still ahead by a fairly decent amount. Up by almost 10 workers, not quite. He's got Blue Flame on the way. He's got more Cyclones coming out. The fact that he's already mining is natural, whereas Reality, or GuMiho's not, kind of speaks loads about the way that damage was dealt.
Yeah. Faster Blue Flame for Reality, and he's getting a lot of Cyclones, actually. I mean, to get 1 for defense makes a lot of sense. To get 2 for defense, if you need an emergency, which it feels like GuMiho did, because he didn't have a Cyclone back at home. Okay, that's forgivable, or your bunny, like either one. But anything more than that is actually like usually like, oh, are you gonna go into a Cyclone mech, which was tried. It was tested in the beginning of Legacy of the Void, like, oh, would this be the new way to play mech or play against mech? And it was not. It would just get destroyed by a number by tanks.
Auto turrets, please.
But really, lately, Cyclone mech has been looking pretty good.
The auto turret actually did a huge shift in those Hellions when it came to that fight. A couple shots off and distracted a lot of damage. 2 of these Vikings are going to go down. He can trail this as well. Let's not forget, he might just get the other 2 if he's not careful. So GuMiho, despite being down on workers, does take a better army fight for it. That Banshee still being alive is pretty huge. In fact, that could pick off this Cyclone, potentially, without needing to lock on. But he does lock on anyways. Gets the Cyclone, walks the hell away. And there's still quite a few units to deal with.
That was a very nice trade for GuMiho. His army supply is now ahead, but I'm not sure he can actually break Reality. And Reality still is ahead and now 14 workers.
Right, and not without high ground vision too. But this particular engagement becomes really cool in the next balance patch of the game, where Vikings deal more damage not to armored but to mechanical units.
Well, this is... I love seeing Cyclone back, as Reality seems to be doing. But GuMiho has a very advantage position on the front lines here. Maybe he can hold it long enough to bring back that economy.
I'm actually wondering, with that Viking change, like, you gotta consider how powerful mech is right now. Will like mass ground Vikings be the new thing to do?
Mass ground Vikings? Oh, because of the versus armor.
It's not versus armor though, it's versus mechanical. So even Hellions would take the bonus damage.
Yep, that's what I remember. Whoa, 50 SCVs went down to the defense there. That has even things up quite a bit.
Yeah, having to pull workers into that was not favorable, but he does get out here with a decent Cyclone count, but Cyclones don't have much health, so as we can see, the Hellions even taking one of them down. Landed Viking hype still going strong. 4 kills on that bad boy. One Hellion slips through. One Hellion shouldn't be destined to get too many kills here.
Well, now it's a little bit in favor of GuMiho, I would say. Once he gets his orbital up on his third CC, and it's just about done as it is on location. Upgrades aren't really an issue, I suppose.
Yeah, unfortunately, the dynamic of the +1/+2 effect isn't the same that it is with Marines. Yo, Marines, if you get a single level of upgrades, whether it's through armor or through weapons, you have a huge advantage. Hellions already deal so much damage. 19. Like, that's insane! With no upgrades, just Blue Flame. The +1/+2 doesn't change up that dynamic too much. Especially because no mech players go for armor until way, way later anyways. But regardless of that, production going to be kicking off way better for GuMiho. 3 factories finishing up as we speak. One of them going to have a tech lab right away. We finally have somebody going for tanks in this matchup.
Yeah, a lot of Hellions, a lot of Cyclones initially. Reality has given up on at this point on the Cyclone deal, and I think that is the better move. Like, Cyclones, as I was going to get into before things get kind of wonky for Reality, is that they can and will win against low numbers of tanks and not enough Hellions. And it'll take quite a few Hellions, really, to make them back off. That time is kind of gone and past. Reality knew he's in a bad situation, especially if he lost a couple of SCVs, or more than a couple. And Cyclones would just be obsolete, I feel, after a certain point of tank production. Not necessarily time or supply, but just how much tank production can they get compared to how many Cyclones you can get. But he's not going for Cyclones. He's going very quickly into that second starport. So he could just be going for air domination. This is scouted by GuMiho at the last second, though, whatever that was. That's pretty important. That actually, yeah, I mean, he could push without knowledge, but I don't know if Reality's investing that much into air yet.
Well, we got 2 really cool things happening here, Zombie. On one side of the field, we got Thors coming out. On the other side is going to be range for the Liberators. But as we've seen, Thors with the transformation mode are actually pretty good at fighting Liberators, fighting Vikings, fighting medevacs, shooting anything out of the sky, really.
They are. Liberators with range should be too complicated to push into, though. Defensively, I think that GuMiho might be okay.
I mean, for those who don't know, by the way, like, Thors can actually dogfight Liberators because the Liberators' slow attack speed despite its insane damage, but they don't have the mobility to dance around the circles the same way a lot of other units do. Thors are slow and stupid. So if those Liberators get that siege up, you're right, like, it's really hard to actually maneuver around.
Well, this makes more sense. GuMiho was not going for the push, because I didn't think Reality was getting up that much army to go for air, that GuMiho would have the sick timing, but to instead go for a 4th, and that makes sense. So he has his tanks in a pretty abusive ledge here, even though he loses all of his Hellions. That's a little unfortunate.
I love the medevacs.
Whoa.
I didn't even realize this was in production.
Yeah, neither did I. Unsieging, bringing the tanks. I mean, that's going to take care of the mobility issue that you were talking about.
Yeah, but unfortunately there's Vikings in the sky, though, so he's got to be careful. The Thors are not transformed either, so they're not going to deal much damage.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you're right.
This is really bad.
Oh, that was terrible. And the tanks from Reality repositioned.
Yeah, Reality.
Initially, they were far off to the side.
He also snuck out +1 for that fight. Just everything going way better for him. I mean, 2 Thors going down is really expensive as well. These are not cheap to make units. And unfortunately, while the ranged air attack with a splash is kind of cool, you get more range and more punch with a single target.
He definitely meant to have a single target, I would say. Like, he needed to take care of those Liberators. Even if he did, though. The tanks were doing enough damage, I feel, that Reality still would have won the fights. GuMiho couldn't be fancy enough to win it, and now he's using 2 more Thors. He's gonna have to abandon, I think, his 4th base, and if he abandons the 4th base, it's gonna be very hard.
He can't lift it up with that of the Vikings. His best is to cancel the planetary. You might try and let it complete, but tanks can outrange that.
I guess just hope that you eventually get enough units to push this back, but the Thors would have to like do something with tricky, like, you know, behind the tanks. This is where medevacs still being alive would have been very helpful. Then he could probably break it, in fact, because Thors can take on 2 tanks.
Yeah. Well, planetary unfortunately goes down. Bit of a waste there. Not that he needed this base super badly. The thing that's holding back from his production It's just like how slow everything builds right now more than anything else. Like, okay, it's a little bit short on cash, but you know, you can't exactly produce 4 Thors at a time anyways, even if you had that base.
Yeah. Oh, okay, well, GuMiho's in a very difficult position now. He's gonna try and invest into Vikings to actually win the air war, as opposed to just relying on his Thors. But it's gonna be very difficult against the 4-base economy realities on a 5th orbital soon, apparently. He's just made orbitals everywhere, in fact, no planetaries. I'm not sure what GuMiho can do.
The idea of orbitals over planetaries is actually not bad. You know, most of what Terran's gonna be using with mech outranges the planetary. You're not really worried about Hellion run-bys.
Yeah, that would be the only reason, is so you don't have Hellion run-bys. But none have occurred so far, so...
Yeah.
GuMiho is just trying to match reality, but at a later time and with less income.
Yeah,
well, specifically at the gas income.
If he had the medevacs and there wasn't so much air problems right now, these Hellions could actually be really useful as Hellbats drop on top of anything, but unfortunately, the Vikings will zone out anything in the sky. The Liberator count's going a little too big. If there was 6 Thors and not 2, I would say he's got a fighting chance, but the anti-air capabilities of GuMiho are limited to 6 Vikings and 2 Thors.
But GuMiho could have a chance here. If he hides the Vikings, reality might have stopped making his own Vikings, thinking like, oh, I've won the air war. And he might be able to do something with that. But reality goes back into Viking productions.
Yeah, unfortunately has to show his hand as the Liberators did get the siege up. This is actually one of the few times I would say untransform that Thor. Get a little of this splash, but it's not going to matter. Game's over, and reality will tie things up now 1-1. We're going to go to commercial break in just a moment, guys, but quick shots to Byun, who does win the top half of the bracket, and Hyun, who's taking the mid part. So 2 contestants in the semifinals already decided. But we'll see you guys in 2 minutes as we get ready for game number 3. Yo, Gilly Dokily, we're back just in time for you guys to join us in the game. Whoops, I keep doing that Shift O thing, dude. I keep put my camera on yours. But okay, blue versus blue. Unfortunate for colors in a mirror matchup. Hopefully you guys will be able to tell the difference in who's doing what. It is game number 3 here in the round of 8 for the Olimoleague. Quick reminder, if you haven't seen those brackets, we referenced it before. The winner of this goes on to fight against Hyun in a TvZ. So spawn here in the upper right side of Frost is going to be none other than the blue Terran GuMiho.
In the bottom right, as the teal Terran, he is reality.
Now, the top half of the bracket is dragging a bit. I guess that Chan Kim series takes a long time to play out. But if this all goes according to plan, it looks like we'll probably do the winner of this versus Hyun into the Beyond semifinals, into those grand finals, assuming nothing else goes awry. But I really like, I gotta tell you, like, if it's not Hyun Beyond in the finals, I'm really liking the idea of Hyun versus anybody in the semifinals. I think that's going to be a TvZ that'll be a lot of fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. TvZs are always fun to watch.
Yeah, but for whatever weird reason, Hyun has managed to be, I don't want to say ahead, because that's not correct, but like different from the pack of Koreans. Like where everyone was struggling with the matchup, Hyun would not have problems in HOTS. Legacy of the Void brought a whole other problem to the equation, and I really haven't seen enough Hyun lately to tell you what he's like for that, but just knowing his past, I'm excited to see how he does versus either of these guys.
Yeah, that's what I would say, is that I don't know enough about Hyun lately. I know he played in Heart of the Swarm for sure, but...
I know that his eating hamburgers is starting to finally pay off.
Oh, good. Gaining tons of weight.
Shoutouts to Hyun joining me on the fat train. Whoop whoop.
Well, anyway, it'll be fun to watch that TvZ. In fact, it might even be a little old school if GuMiho advances.
Oh, before we get too far into the game, I need a countdown for that Twitch Turbo Code winner.
Alright, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Samoon 1979, congratulations. I can't do it right now because we are, of course, in the middle of this game, but I will take a picture of the code and PM it to your Twitch account ASAP. So just keep an ear on the stream and I'll announce when I've sent it to you.
Cool.
But yeah, make sure to redeem that code. I think what ends up happening, I didn't know this when we started giving the codes away, but what's going to happen is it will ask you for your credit card on Twitch, but it won't actually charge you anything. Just remember to actually cancel it so that it doesn't charge you afterwards if you don't want to actually pay for a month of Turbo.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a free month of Turbo.
Turbo-tastic.
I think one of
yeah.
the best parts about Turbo, by the way, regardless like whether you pay for it or not, I know that's really disappointing, is like it is the best absolution of guilt. Like when it comes to like not watching ads or using ad blocker or whatever, like everyone's got their way around it, but Turbo straight up helps everybody. It helps Twitch, it helps us, it helps you. There's actually no real downside to Turbo other than the fact that it costs money, but
the reason I use it is I have to deal with the headaches that are broken ads, loud ads, long ads, ads that are repetitive, I guess. 'Cause apparently that's an issue. That's the first reason I got it. Is that there's too many broken advertisements. And it wasn't getting fixed very quickly. Man, that SUV made that Reaper explode.
Yeah, you like poked it.
And it just like guts everywhere.
Don't
Jesus.
touch me!
You touched me. Yeah, that was insane. Alright, so we got Banshees coming out from Reality. GuMiho is going to go into Banshee after this Viking. But of course, after the Viking. And the Viking is going to be very, very useful. But does he have a scan? He will. He does now have a scan. Banshee doesn't have to use it on the SUVs, though. He could just use it on the workers. Or on the army. These are SUVs. The Viking chases it away. Run, run. Okay, run into your death.
Well, close.
Fine, whatever. No,
Now
it's death. There's a scan anyway. GuMiho didn't use it because he was running into the missile turret.
You know, for I want to say a good 20 years of my life, I did not have to properly spell the word missile. Missile. I always thought it was
understandable.
M-I-S-S-L-E.
I mean, that's understandable. English has some dumb pronunciations. It has some dumb.
Wow, you know what's dumb? Look at the Viking name of the weapon.
Lanzer torpedoes.
That's just
not even Panzer torpedoes.
I always forget that StarCraft 2 actually has names for all the like individual weapons, but like backlash rockets. Okay, that sounds pretty cool.
Does it? Like backlash?
But like Lanzer torpedoes, that just sounds like somebody had like a halfway between Star Trek and like their own name.
I guess. I'm checking all of them. Wait, the Widowmine doesn't have an attack?
Well, is it burrowed? Where is it?
Yeah, it's burrowed. It's the one near the Reality's Natural.
I guess it's the Sentinel Missiles zombie grub.
Where? Where do you see that?
You mouse over the ability?
Oh. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Damn.
Seeger just set us up, or Slegger, excuse me, for the 20-month resub. Shout outs to you real quick, sir. Fight does commence, though. Hellions going to be a little bit better for Reality, but the Cyclone from GuMiho could be a game changer. Nah, looks like the Cyclone
could have been, isn't.
Yeah. The Marine Push was kind of cute as a follow-up. If this ended up being like problematic for anti-air, these would have been great to have, but unfortunately versus the Hellions, well, they actually do some pretty good damage to the Hellions, shred them to bits. Cyclone not going to get the tank, and now GuMiho's in a position where he can siege up and deny this natural.
That Banshee helped out so much, I would say. A lot of extra damage on all of those Hellions. Of course, it's going to die now, but I think she did her job. And GuMiho's going to go into Bio with his Marine Push coming up and getting a lot more barracks back at home. Third CC is finishing up. He's in a winning position. There you go. GG.
All right. Excuse me, a cough gotta get out there. Congratulations to GuMiho. He'll take the series, move on to the semifinals where he will be slated to take on Hyun next. So, again, I think that's going to be the first one we get into. I'm sure there's going to be a good period of downtime here as we got to get all the casters and things caught up and sorted. But before we go to any of that, before we go to commercials or anything, I would like to once again remind you guys about the Patreon for this. Again, if we don't ever get a single donation during the Olimoleague, that's perfectly fine with me, as long as it means a couple of people have visited the Patreon and considered even giving as little as $1 a week. Right now, the Patreon's sitting on $527 per week, which is fantastic. That's something like close to $2,000 a month, a little more than that even. And the best part is if you actually check out the Patreon, I'm actually going to put this on screen, because I know some of you will be too lazy to straight up go to it. Olivia has been and has always been transparent about where the money goes. With every single one of these breakdowns, she lets you know where all the dollars and the cents are heading. Sometimes it's a little bit more, and that just goes towards more like payments for like, you know, transaction fees and all that stuff. But making sure that the prize pool first and foremost. There's a little bit of compensation for the staff, a little bit of compensation for the casters, you know, that sort of thing. So really awesome, really awesome. So make sure to check out the Patreon, guys. It's patreon.com/Olimoleague. You can watch the video, you can take a listen, but you can also get all these cool rewards on the side. And the big one, I think, is the $15 for replay packs. Yeah, replay packs of the Olimoleague, exclusive to the Patreons. We don't even share those on BaseTradeTV. Oh, yeah, here's a cool picture of the studio. I was talking about this earlier. The studio looks great, the Twitch Korea studio. Anyways, all this is made possible thanks to you guys. You know, the Olimoleague didn't come from the ground. It didn't have corporate backing. It had you guys supporting it all this time. So, again, just consider taking a look. So I cannot wait for the big year-end finals and all that. But yeah, so we're gonna have to get this next series, and I gotta wake up still. Man, it's 5 a.m. We've been at this for 2 hours ish, and I'm still asleep. Ugh. I hate this. But anyways,
okay, buddy.
Regardless of my preference for time, regardless of what's going on, I'm glad to see we still got about 1,800 people awake enough to tune in and watch. That's great. That's awesome. Like we said, guys, regarding like recent events, I'm really glad that we have our own stuff we can focus on, that we can say like, yeah, let's do the Olimoleague, let's do this temporary team league, let's do Corsair Cups and our own things. So again, while I just finished gushing about the Olimoleague, just generally, thank you guys for tuning in. Whether you're just watching BaseTradeTV, whether you're watching a commercial here and there, whether you're considered subscribing, you helped make the channel what it is. But as said, it's going to be a little bit of time. Looks like they're estimating about 5 to 10 minutes for that next game to start. So we will go to a slightly extended break, but we will be back ASAP. Also, I gotta get to say Moon 1979 his Twitch turbo code. Woo! So see you guys in a little bit. Thanks for watching.